The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay.
Go, Jess, go, go, go.
Where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of
Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to Vlogmas day 19. I feel like when it's day 20, that is the final stretch, the final run, but we're on day 19. Very, very exciting. Today is one of those days where I could, if I didn't have work to do, it would have been a duvet day. I feel like I'm maybe still catching up from New York, the flight, but I just feel kind of eternally tired. That's probably not a good thing to admit, but I very nearly missed my PT session this morning because Charlie got out of bed and I didn't reset the alarm, and when I did finally wake up, I had to be downstairs for the PT session within 5 minutes. I woke up at 7:55 and I had to be down with Lauren at 8. So world's quickest getting ready this morning, but we actually had a really, really good session, so I feel good for it. And I really can't complain because today's actually, it is a chilled day. Done lots of my admin on the laptop already, and the next thing that's on my agenda, I have got a quick call, I hope it's gonna be quick, in half an hour. And then I'm going to get my Christmas nails done. So at the moment, I think I got these done on day 1 of Vlogmas, didn't I? So it is a cool toned pink with that effect on it that when you shine a light on them, they're just super, super sparkly. But if you watched the vlog 2 days ago where I had the color analysis done, Camilla was even, like, she was so knowledgeable, and I feel like I will never think about things the same way again, whether it's how I decorate my house, what I wear, right down to the colour of my jewellery and my nail varnish colour. I now know that I just should not really go near cool toned colours, so getting a cool toned pink was not the best shout for the flatteringness of my skin colour. So I'm going to try and find a warm toned pink, maybe even gold, or I probably should have decided this by now, maybe even a burgundy for Christmas. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon. But this morning, now today for lunch, I have been thinking about this Christmas focaccia for a very, very long time. So that's what I'm going to make, and I think because it's going to have pigs in blankets and brie and cranberry in it, it's essentially going to be like a sausage butty, kind of, all the good stuff on a focaccia. I have not made focaccia in years and years and years, but I do seem to remember it being quite easy, she says, and I've got all the ingredients, so that is what we're gonna get going with. So I'll show you the ingredients and then let's get started. Okay, so I am going to make the actual focaccia in my Thermomix because it's easy. You can obviously, exact same ingredients, do this by hand. Main ingredient being strong white bread flour. I'm sure you can probably do it with like a wholemeal flour and other things, but I'm not going to mess around with anything like that today, so we're going to use a strong white bread flour. This is from Wild Farmed. If you watched Clarkson's Farm, the guy from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 that came and talked about regenerative farming, which is basically when you treat the soil in a way that kind of helps with the longevity, the protection of the soil. So this is the flour that's going to be the base of the recipe, and then this is where I fall down usually, yeast. I do have a problem, I have to be careful how I say this so it doesn't sound dodgy. I have a problem making things rise. I have a problem with my bread rising. So, I mean, it's in date and it is what the recipe is asking for, so hopefully my yeast will work. And then, a very important ingredient in our kitchen full stop, but also an especially important ingredient in focaccia, is olive oil. Olive oil, in my mind, is a superfood. It's full of polyphenols, antioxidants, so good for you, and can really just take a dish to a whole nother level. Ever since, how did we discover it? I think it was maybe an Instagram ad a couple of years ago that Charlie and I first discovered Citizens of Soil. We have been such loyal fans of the brand, customers, and we've even had the pleasure of meeting Sarah, the founder of Citizens of Soil, this year. It's just a company that I'm so glad exists. You've probably mostly heard us talking about Citizens of Soil when it comes to the pouches, which I'll show you later. The pouches you can get as a subscription. So every couple of weeks or every month you get a new pouch of olive oil. You can pour it into your own olive oil pourer or just keep it in the pouch. But they also do the bottles, and we obviously are doing a lot of cooking over Christmas, so we've picked up loads of extra bottles. This is the Greek one, and this is the Sicily. This is the Sicilian one. The Greek I do overall find to be the most versatile. If you know someone who takes their cooking seriously, their ingredients seriously, then truly I would say the gift of a really good bottle of olive oil, or even better, a Citizens of Soil subscription, has to be the best Christmas gift, because olive oil, yes, it's full of polyphenols and all the good stuff, but actually there's a few little fun facts about olive oil. So first of all, it should always be in a dark or completely blacked out bottle. Olive oil is also so much better, both tasting and like health and nutrition wise, sooner after the olives have been harvested and pressed. So you do not want to save olive oil for best. If someone gives you a lovely bottle of olive oil, use it straight away. Don't save it for best, use it ASAP, because then you'll get the most out of it. And also, one thing that we get wrong is keeping our olive oil by the 𝑭𝒂𝒕𝒖𝒓𝒆𝒅. That is not a good shout. You want to keep your olive oil away from heat. We need to sort that out. We really shouldn't keep it there. But something else that I love about Citizens of Soil, they work with really small batch producers, farmers in Europe, in Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, and they champion these small farmers that previously may not have had the opportunity or the platform to get their olive oil out to the masses, out to the world. And these farmers, you get a little slip of information with your subscription about the farmers, about the producers, about the way that they produce, the kind of conditions that they're grown in, and then you also get tasting notes and also pairing ideas. So for example, this Greek one, it's telling me the producer is the Kyragos family. Oh, there's quite a few families actually, Vilkanas and Alexandrakou families. Their region is Sparta. That's so cool. Different olive varieties, a superior category olive oil obtained directly from olives and solely by mechanical means, no heat or chemicals. They're very on it, again, with the way that the olives are farmed and produced and harvested. We've got good pairings, so tomato salads, roasted potatoes, that's why we've got this one for Christmas, and ice cream. And the tasting notes include artichoke, black pepper, and freshly cut grass. And it's a B Corp, and it's Soil Association organic. There's just nothing that you can't possibly love about this company. So it's the olive oil that Charlie and I always have in the house for drizzling, for cooking in, and for recipes like this. So that was a very long introduction to my olive oil, but Charlie and I are obsessed. I do think it's an amazing gift idea. It's also a really good last minute gift idea if there is someone that you still need to buy for. So I'll leave Citizens of Soil and, is it Olive Josie? I'll leave our discount code on the screen and linked down below. So those are the main ingredients, plus warm water for the focaccia. And then you add the fun stuff, obviously cherry tomatoes and rosemary. Being traditional, we're going to do rosemary, but we're going to do cranberries, little splodges of brie, and pigs in blankets. So let's get started on the dough, and then we can do the fun stuff once it's started to rise.
I'm walking around feeling free, thinking about what's happened to me from July up till now.
Okay, I have left my focaccia rising. It says 1 to 2 hours, and that was an hour ago that I left it rising, but I now have to head out for my nail appointment. So it's gonna be rising for like 3 and a bit hours, which is probably not the very best thing to do, is it? There's always something, there's always a reason why my bakes never turn out perfectly, but Christmas nails take priority. So I'm heading to a local lady named 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. She is incredible. She did these, and obviously no chips, not one single flaw. They've just grown out, and I think I'm gonna go burgundy, because I was thinking if I don't go burgundy now, I'm not gonna wanna go burgundy until at least like September next year. So it's now or never. And I have got a nail appointment in early-ish January, so we can go back to pink then. I don't trust this coffee not to spill while I'm driving, so I'm gonna chuck it out. Ugh. Been slurping on that and reheating all day. Right, let's get going. Oh, Ducky! Say welcome to Vlogmas Day 19. Oh, I'll say more than that. Yes. Thank you, Dougie. You've been such a good assistant today. Oh. He will actually do sit and pour. Look, firstly I show you the nails when you can't see. Oh, sit. Pordini. Pordinsky. Oh, yeah, you just grab it, it's fine. He's like, I've had enough of these games. Just give me the bloody treat, woman. You are such a good boy. Don't worry, I'm not taking it back. I'm not taking it back. I'll show you my nails against Doggie's beautiful floof. Yes, aren't they nice? Your mummy is so talented. Yes, she is. Nails on floof. The best way to show you. Yes, aren't they nice? Done by your mummy. Okay, nails are done. And it's time to get a few tasty snacks from M&S. We need to get some mince pies and some bananas. This is nice, some festive table decor. Ooh. Wow, these sound amazing. Ever since I learned the whole green ticket thing, so if you see a green ticket, you know that it's new. I'm now just like an eagle-eyed for green tickets. Milk, chocolate and cinnamon tortilla rolls. That sounds sensational. Green label, found some new crisps, 100% avocado oil. Guess they're trying to be healthier. 3 ingredient crisps, yummy. I'll let you know how they are. And I have, of course, got my favorites. That sounds like a yummy breakfast treat. Wow, the bakery section is amazing. Look how good that sounds. Caramel and pecan sticky bun. Looks amazing.
I'm so glad you feel it too.
Okay, back home again. We're having steak for dinner, which means I get to do a mini mac and cheese. I will be continuing with my focaccia as well, and look at my dough. Oh my goodness, it's risen so much. I guess my yeast is working. I'll just close it over for a few seconds. I think what I'm going to do I'm gonna get cracking with my mac and cheese because I'm hungry. And I mean, this has been rising for about 1,000,000 hours, so I don't think another half hour will hurt. I'm gonna get the pigs in blankets, the chipolatas, just slightly cooked. Do you know what? Can you like leave dough overnight? Because I feel like I should maybe do this tomorrow. I'm gonna do a quick Google because if we're doing steak and mac and cheese, I'm not gonna be eating focaccia. Or maybe I should just make it and then heat it tomorrow. I'm gonna do some Googling, unpack my shopping, and make a sensational cheddar, parmesan, and Gruyere mac and cheese. Good old Google says you can refrigerate overnight, but you have to shape it first. So I guess I'll put it in the baking tin and then put it in the fridge. Perfect. Top tip, if you make your pasta and it needs to sit for a while, then pop some olive oil onto it and it stops the pasta all sticking together. You can also put a little bit of oil in the pasta water. I've seen people doing that online as well. So these are the Citizens of Soil pouches that I was talking about earlier that you get as a subscription. So just come through the letterbox and you can either keep the oil in a pouch or you can decant it into your olive oil pourer. And they've got all of the tasting notes. This one's South Africa. It's an intense flavor, pairs well with roasted root veg, so another great one for Christmas. Brussels sprouts, orange salads. Absolutely amazing, delicious. Please excuse the noise of the thumb mix behind me, but chef, as well as my mac and cheese, what's on the menu?
This is like our classic Wednesday.
Is it?
Yeah, well, no, normally a Thursday. If I had my hair cut, normally Thursday's a much shorter day. In terms of like, we have less night to food prep. So I like to have steak on a Thursday.
Steak on a Thursday.
We've got broccoli and roasted sweet potato.
Nice.
And you're doing the mac and cheese for yourself, aren't you?
Oh, well, I thought you were going to... Are you not having any?
No, I'm trying to be healthy pre-Christmas so that I can enjoy Christmas. We've got olive oil, obviously Citizens of Soil.
Yeah.
This is their Greek one in here. But I'm thinking we're going to give this one a go. Which one's this?
By the way,
South African. This is a new
I just tried some of that and the flavour is like, I could drink that. Obviously I couldn't because it's hot behind your throat, but like, that is...
South Africa, like everything that comes out of South Africa, like food-wise, is amazing.
This.
Some of the best wine ever.
It's absolutely delicious. So it's from the Brenda and Nick Wilkinson family. No, Wilkinson family from Rio Lago. In the, you know, our Greek olive oil. Do you know where that's produced?
Greece.
I'll give you a clue. I am
Sparta.
Sparta.
Sparta a place?
Apparently so, because that's the region. So this one has been, wow, regeneratively farmed and milled within 5 hours of picking.
Talk about regeneratively farmed.
Wow.
Got some lovely Dalesford steak.
Dalesford steak.
Dalesford today.
Nice.
From our village butcher. We like our village butcher as well, mixed up. So yeah, I mean, this is just one of my guilty pleasures, really, is just broccoli with olive oil, sea salt, and roasted in the arga bowl in the oven.
Yeah.
We'll see that in a minute. In about, oh no, good. That is such a nice way of having broccoli. And then we're gonna, obviously have a steak. We're gonna use this with the steak, actually.
Wow, that's gonna be so tasty.
It's a really simple, easy dinner. Bit of a treat. I always find steaks a treat. Obviously, A, because it's quite expensive, but B, because it just feels like a treat, doesn't it?
It does.
Chicken, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to this.
I was saying on the vlog earlier how a really good Christmas gift for someone that loves cooking could be a subscription. But also, we were joking with Lauren when she came to stay, Loza, that instead of taking a bottle of wine to someone's house, take a bottle of really good quality olive oil.
The bottle they sell, the pouring bottle.
No, I haven't shown that yet. Where is it? We've actually...
We've got one that is a gift. I'll show you what we're taking to George and Petra's house. We are taking a bottle. This is
Spanish
variety.
This is what we're taking as we've been invited to a party, a Christmas party.
A Christmas jumper party 2 nights time. And then this beautiful ceramic. Do you know where it's made?
No, I don't
But
actually.
It's got a gold lid.
It's such a good design. It really is.
I'm excited to take that. Look, I mean, obviously, as someone that doesn't drink alcohol, I would much prefer this gift. I'll be honest, I think a lot of people, because I don't know if it's probably not a very British thing, and I'm conscious I often say these things without knowing anything about other cultures in terms of what we do, but I've always been taught I would never turn up empty-handed to a house. Flowers are often a thing, which is lovely, but the only thing I'd say about fresh flowers, particularly at Christmas, is it's a bit of a kerfuffle sometimes. Like, you get the flowers and you have to get the vase out. You have to cut.
Do you know what? The correct etiquette is actually not to take fresh cut flowers for that exact reason, because it stresses out the host.
Yeah, okay.
A potted plant, absolutely fine.
Right.
Or if they're already in water, absolutely fine. But if it means the host has to do something, then it's not the correct etiquette.
And then the other thing is often, for some reason, and I think genuinely in this country, it's often like a bottle of red. Now, a lot of people don't drink red. So anyway, I think olive oil's a great idea. On the subject of not drinking, shall I show you some of my tips for the...
Yes, but let me get my mac and cheese in the oven first, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So in T-2 minutes, we want your non-alcoholic recommendations. I have, of course, just been quick and easy and messy and made the mac and cheese in the Thermomix this evening because it's super quick. There we go. So I always like to just test the sauce quickly before I cover all the pasta in it, see if it needs any more seasoning. I'll try this bit. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I better just test another little bit. So this is obviously not as crispy as I like a macaroni cheese top to be. So I'm just gonna take a small spoonful now to get started, because honestly, I cannot wait any longer. And I'm gonna put the rest back in the Aga for another 10 minutes. So the second half of my meal can be with a crispy mac and cheese, but look how creamy this is. Absolutely perfect. This is a really good sauce to pasta ratio. Okay, we have just finished our dinner. I've made a lovely chamomile and lavender tea in my cute little candy cane mug, which I'm going to wait to cool down, and I'm going to have that with my ultimate post-dinner treat. Now, we don't get these very often because they are so addictive. I probably used to eat up to 4 of these a day, which was a very expensive habit and a very unhealthy habit. Now I probably have a couple a month. I just bought some in M&S just now. They are so delicious, but you do not want to read the ingredients on these. They are not good for you at all. I imagine when I was eating them, because I used to have them for breakfast, I used to have 2 for breakfast and then like 2 as an after dinner treat every day. I imagine the ingredients probably weren't always as bad as they are now, but yeah, very much saved for special occasions. With the focaccia, I have put it in individual baking trays, and I'm going to leave it out for 30 minutes, and it'll probably, hopefully, have its second proof. Then you can put it in the fridge overnight and then carry on in the morning with the baking. So I'm hoping that it will all turn out okay. We know what my baking endeavours often can end up like. But in a second, Charlie is going to come and share with you his favourite alcohol-free drinks for the festive season. Speaking of going over to other people's houses and bringing a bottle or bringing a bottle of olive oil, I know that a lot of you are often interested in what Charlie likes to drink. So we'll talk through that in a second and then do tonight's advent calendar. Okay, fresh from the sofa, fresh from watching a documentary about someone. Do you want to explain what we've just been watching?
What we've just watched, it was on Sky, it's a Sky documentary.
Sky are smashing it right now, aren't they?
Yeah, I feel like they create amazing content, but maybe a lot of your, we love reading, right? But we only really get the time Well, I love reading, and genuinely I often think, oh, how lovely would it be on a Sunday just to sit at the fire and read, but we just never have the time.
No.
On a holiday, so we go away for 2 weeks in January, and I'm taking 5 books this year. You read a lot quicker than me.
I can read a book a day.
Yeah, you read quicker than me. Although in my defence, I read mostly non-fiction.
Yeah.
Non-fiction, I think, often takes a lot longer to read.
Yeah, you have to concentrate more.
But I'll hopefully read 5 books. You'll take loads. But, so maybe we've been living under a rock, but I've not heard of the book Salt Path. The Salt Path.
Lala definitely read it.
Okay, and so it sold 2 million copies worldwide, and it sounds like a wonderful book. The problem is, it's a memoir, and rather than fiction, and we've just watched a documentary that it's not even one-sided. Like, the facts are, it looks like a lot of what's in that book are fiction, and yet the author pitches them as a memoir. And obviously it opens an interesting debate, because clearly it's a fantastic book. Clearly she's a talented writer, and it's a great story. But would it have sold 2 million copies if people knew it was fiction?
My issue with it isn't so much that. My issue with it is the fact that within the book, the main author, she says that her husband has an incurable disease, and there are other people in the world that have this disease, and then they read the book, and just by going on this incredible...
What's the Australian girl's name?
Belle Gibson.
It's Belle Gibson Mark II, isn't it?
It's Belle Gibson Mark II. People are reading this book, getting hope, because they think that if they go and do this walk, they could also be cured from this disease, and actually the whole load of it is bullshit.
I guess it's not quite as bad as Belle Gibson, because obviously she stopped people having cancer treatment, and arguably people died quicker.
Yeah.
This does give people hope, and giving people hope is not necessarily a bad thing, but when it's false hope... Anyway, it's an interesting documentary, well worth watching, and you can make your own minds up. The interesting thing as well is the sort of dynamic of, no doubt, and Will included in this, I'm not sure I would want to buy the book or read it, but I'd be up for watching the film now.
Yeah.
Just because I'd be interested in the story, even though I know it's now fiction.
I wonder if financially does the
She'll
author
do well
still
out of that.
get money from the film?
She'll do well, oh yeah, and she will do well out of that documentary, and that's the world we live in, and there's no such thing as bad press and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, on to a more positive subject.
But
We're
just
talking...
one more really quick segue.
Right.
Obviously it's kind of illegal what she's done, because she's lied and created a fictional narrative while saying that it's true. What if someone had a YouTube channel and they were doing this narrative and presenting this life, and all of it was false? Well,
as I say, yeah, there's definitely some legal cases. She's made millions, and if it's proved that it's lies, and she will have to. This is always the tricky thing, and I also wonder, when I was watching that documentary, I thought maybe. So she's lied about certain things, which she's then debated already since the documentary. She's debated them. We're never, you and I are not versed enough to say which is right or wrong, but the documentary is very well presented and very well researched, whereas her protests don't feel as authentic. But I don't know. But that's regarding a load of the financial stuff involved.
Yeah.
Where she is probably quite clever is when you make a health claim, it's not like obviously the journalist can't go and research. You can't go to the NHS and go, let's see his record. Let's see if this is on his record. Do you see what I mean? So it's quite clever, because unless it really does go to court, I guess she can just keep saying that he does have this disease. And she's already posted some pictures of some letters from the NHS, but the letters that I've seen, because I went down a bit of a wormhole, they're like they've had consultations and he's displaying the symptoms. Well, if you Google what the symptoms are for it, you could just say that you're having them.
Right.
It's not. There's nothing in the letters that she's posted that says you have this condition based on brain scans, blood tests, etc.
And knowing what we know about the world of medicalness, it would be fairly easy to prove. Like, if someone said to you, have you got this disease?
If you were a multi-million...
Here's a note from my oncologist.
Well, to be honest, if you're a multi-million author, you'd probably say, and you're raising awareness, you would probably say to your cancer oncologist, your doctor, would you mind being on camera for all of 1 minute just to talk about how serious it is and how great it is that I've raised. Anyway, let's move on, because it's a fascinating documentary. You can tell we're both a little bit. The Salt Path.
That's the book.
If you type that in on Sky, it will come up.
Okay.
So, moving on.
Complete segue.
I had lots of requests about non-alcoholic drinks for Christmas. this is in no way sponsored. I don't work with any of these brands. We have worked with 𝑭𝒊𝒅, of course, but I'd love to work with. No, they approached me. They wanted to buy rights to a video I created for free, but they didn't want to pay very much. And I thought, well, you know what? The truth is, I don't really want to give the rights to a video. I created it because I love the brand, and I'm going to keep loving the brand. But I wasn't willing to. I didn't feel valued, and so I said, no, you're okay. I don't want you to run it as an ad. I'll just keep it on my Instagram, which they totally understood, and that's totally fair enough. Yeah. Maybe in the future I'd love to work with them. It'd be great. But anyway. First and foremost, I guess, I'm 6.5 years sober. I have elements of alcoholism within my sort of problems with alcohol, but I wouldn't say I identify as a classic alcoholic. I think if you are someone that identifies more as a classic alcoholic, which is in a box, which is difficult anyway, but I would probably steer away from like non-alcoholic stuff like this. I'd probably look at more. So my point being is I drink non-alcoholic beer now, and I've worked up to it. But actually I found in the early years that non-alcoholic beer did often become a slippery slope into drinking the real thing. Yeah. I now only have one or two, couple of times a month probably. But it just gives you that feeling. So starting with the beers, if you're looking to cut back on alcohol, if you're driving, if you're pregnant, if you're generally living more of a sober life, I think ultimately Lucky Saint are the best non-alcoholic beer on the market. I love Heineken 0.0, I like Peroni 0.0, there's some good other alternatives. And
you can get it on tap in certain pubs.
But Lucky Saint for me is the one that talks to me the most. They only make non-alcoholic beer, so they don't do alcoholic beer. They started with this one, which is just their regular lager, which is a bit of a crowd pleaser. And then they launched the hazy IPA. They've also launched a lemony one, which is okay, but this is probably my favourite. And if you're hosting at Christmas and you want to provide your guests with something a bit different, I would go for the hazy IPA, which gives me that feeling of having a beer without the alcohol. So those are really good. And I think for entertaining, I like bottles, but for Christmas, cans are actually better because you can fit more in the fridge. Yeah. So those are the beers on the beer front. If we're talking about a wine alternative, we don't actually have a bottle of it in the house, but Wild Idol is a great alcohol-free alternative.
We need to get some at Christmas.
I have to be honest, I struggle with Wild Idol and any non-alcoholic wine because for some reason it creates... I don't know why this doesn't happen with beer, but as someone that had a problem with alcohol, it gives me a flush. It makes me feel a bit uneasy when it's close to the real thing. I don't know why that is, because Guinness 0.0 doesn't do that for me. So I'm a bit more cautious around that, but you love it as someone that likes to cut down on alcohol.
I love it. As someone who, like, I still drink alcohol. I'm this close to giving up completely, but... like, especially, we've had a stressful month, like, just that, you said it the other day, like, what you miss is after a stressful day, just having a glass of beer to, like,
well, I've got a hyperactive mind, and I struggle to sit still anyway.
Me too.
And that is the one thing I do miss that alcohol provides, but then equally in my mind, I then have to say to myself, yeah, okay, I missed that one bit, but I don't miss all the horrific stuff, which we're not going to go over in this video, that used to happen when I did drink. So, for me, but for you, I think...
For me,
you've been on a
nice
journey of
like,
slowly giving up, really.
Yeah, I've never drunk a lot, and now, like in December, I've probably had like 3 glasses of wine in total this whole month.
You like a glass of Night Timber or something? We try and serve British products at Christmas.
But for example, on Christmas Day, when the nice bottle of rosé is opened, I will have a glass, but then I will move on to non-alcoholic because I don't want a headache. I don't want the effects of alcohol.
This is another one. So this is from 𝑭𝒊𝒅, and this is organic rosé kombucha, and this is a real crowd pleaser. I'll have just one glass of this, so we'll probably serve this when we serve champagne when people arrive at Christmas. We've got a few people that work for us in the house and in our property projects that are coming for a festive evening tomorrow night. Yeah. And interestingly, a couple of the people that work for us, Michelle, Andrew, don't drink alcohol either. No, she doesn't know.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so we'll serve that when we serve the bubbly. And I think I really rate it. It's lovely, and kombucha obviously has a lot of health benefits as well, so it's kind of quite nice.
Some people are like, oh, but it's so high in sugar. Well,
it is, but look,
it's fermented though.
Yeah,
so I think
it's processed in a different way because I think the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 eats the sugar.
Yes.
So I don't think the sugar in there is in the same processes in the same way. I don't know. I have to research that, but I think there is.
It's definitely a healthy drink, kombucha.
Then the other two, this is 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, and it's a beautiful bottle. This is a really nice gift, so I'd say that's a really nice gift. Now you can have that with just some sparkling mineral water, with some tonic water. They have got lots of cocktail options. I personally don't love cocktails to try and limit the sugar, but it's just a really nice sort of spirit alternative. 𝑐𝑑𝑬𝑵 is one that I used to like, and I still do like, but once again, that's sort of gin and tonic-y, and I don't love. I do like a 𝑐𝑑𝑬𝑵, but this is just something. So I'll read it to you. Brighten your evening with 𝑭𝒂𝒕𝒅, and it's basically wildflower honey, gentian root, wormwood leaf. So it's very, I remember it being very citrusy.
Right.
And I think also it just is a beautiful gift, this one.
So you'd put tonic with that?
Yeah, I would have this with a bit of ice, slice of clementine or whatever, and some tonic water. So we'll probably serve that tomorrow. Exactly. And then the final one, which is a newer product I discovered last year, which I really liked, is called Mother Root. And basically that is similar to this in that you could mix it with tonic water, you could probably mix it with something a little bit sweeter, but it's gingery, it's fiery, it gives you a bit of a kick. It's almost like a concentrated ginger beer.
It says it's an ACV, apple cider vinegar. So this is actually really good.
Oh, is it fermented?
This is, yeah, unlocking the power of gut-loving apple cider vinegar.
Well, there you go.
This is actually really healthy. I might try some of this.
Yeah. So, and it's another beautiful bottle.
Yeah.
That's not to say that like Lucky Saint isn't a gift. I would recommend all of these. Great stocking fillers, great gifts if you're taking maybe alongside your bottle of olive oil. But I think, do you know what, there's something...
The ingredients within this is actually really, really good.
This is the one I'm least familiar with in that I tried it last year. So I bought it last Christmas, I had a couple. I think the only shame was I let it then go out of date.
Yeah.
So I had to buy a new one. That's the only thing I would just say about the spirit ones, is if you buy them, not as a gift but as something to use at Christmas, just make sure you use them, because you're probably still not going to get through them as quickly as you do maybe the real deal. Because that's the one interesting thing about all these, I find one or two of them is enough to satisfy, and then you'll actually have a glass of water or a mint tea or something. That might sound boring to some people, but you feel a hell of a lot better the next day. So yeah, Guinness 0.0 is also one. I've got them in the fridge that I like. I'll have one of them with a game of rugby, or if my mum and dad come over, they like Guinness, I'll share one of them with them. And that Guinness 0.0 and Lucky Saint are probably my go-to in a pub. And I love it when they're on draft, because for me, a pint of freshly poured beer in a pub is just a really comforting thing.
Who were we talking to the other day that said that the alcohol-free sector is the biggest growing sector in the beverage industry?
I don't know, but I knew that already anyway. That's been for a while, because Gen Z are massively cutting back on alcohol. But yeah, I think these are all just different nice alternatives to serve. And to be honest, like, I often think with food it's nice just to have water, and then it's nice to enjoy these around that. Sometimes alcohol, I find, can actually ruin food.
You're not actually meant to eat and drink at the same time, are you?
I don't know.
Your digestion.
Oh, is that how you open this? Okay.
Yeah, you pull it.
Cool, I might just do that.
I remembered who it was.
Oh, look at that.
that said it. But also, that same person that said about the non-alcoholic industry growing was saying how the food industry is actually really nervous because of Ozempic. Because people, so many people, are just not eating anymore. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's try and be positive in the video, but I can tell you what, a storm is coming for Ozempic next year.
Oh, God.
It's there to help people lose weight that desperately need it. It's not there to help people that don't desperately need to lose weight, and then stay. The term skinny needs to go as well, because skinny isn't healthy. No. Anyway, let's not go down that route, but I think the simple fact is, enjoy Christmas. My family enjoy a drink, people will all enjoy a drink. But if you are someone that thinks, you know what, this Christmas I fancy maybe cutting back, these are good options, aren't they?
Yeah, or if you're thinking ahead and you're going to do dry January, these are some good
options. True. But the only thing I would say is I've never been a believer of dry January or making any vast changes in January. March, April is a time to make the changes. January, make a few tweaks, embrace the healthiness of the month. But my advice, don't make any drastic changes that are going to reduce your enjoyment of the month, because it is probably the worst month of the year.
It is.
So I would save that till March. That's my belief. But I often speak as someone that has tried every fad. Right, do you remember I did a juice fast?
I
in
remember,
January?
and you
that
were
was one of the
so
worst things. And then
moody.
I went and got like a sub. This is a long time ago. It's about 8-9 years ago. I then went and got a Subway after the juice fast because I was so hungry. It's like, you know. So
oh
yeah,
dear.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
But there you go. Right.
I just had my Mother Crunch corner, and yesterday I was banging on in the supermarket about eating everything clean and pure.
Yeah.
And here
Yeah, but I think that's why hopefully people that follow this channel know we're authentic and honest. We all love a treat. All that annoys me is when things in the food industry pretend to be something they're not.
Yeah.
I would love a double-decker, I love a Mars bars from time to time, but it's not pretending to be something it's not.
Exactly.
You know it's not real food.
I just don't like people getting deceived.
Yeah, deception by the food industry is a big one. And I think, yeah, ironically, it's a lot of the health foods. It's a lot of the almond milks, the low-fat yogurts, but we won't go down that anyway. Right, we could ramble forever.
We could.
Let's go and
go to bed.
Get ready for bed. What do you think, Dexy?
We'll do 2 advents tomorrow because I don't think neither you nor I have energy right now, do we?
No, let's do that tomorrow.
This is the evening routine. They hear the cupboard. They hear the cupboard and they know that they're about to get
our treats from different dog.
our different dog
We absolutely love
treats.
them.
Oh.
Good boys. Do you want to sleep in here with your brother?
No,
Fun fact
no,
is
Daddy.
Dickens has never ever slept in here. Dexter has a super king, essentially.
Hmm.
This is originally where, when we first moved in, we thought they both love to sleep here. And in fairness, in the early years, we did shut them in here, do you remember?
But
then
we
just-
scratched and we caused absolute chaos.
Squidgy eyes, squidgy.
Daddy, don't push me over. It makes me feel small and
Should we tuck you in,
insignificant.
Dexy? Should we tuck you
Daddy,
in?
be careful with me. I'm just a child.
Oh.
I'm just a child. Dexy, you're 10. You're not a baby anymore.
Come on, let's get in as well. Let's get in there as well.
Daddy tuck you into bed, did he? Daddy, I don't like it. I disapprove, Daddy. It's toasty in here.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh.
Right, night, boys.
Night, night, my tiny precious animals. You are so precious to me. Night, night, sweet little boys. Mummy, Daddy, love.